welcome everyone to the Museum of Jewish Heritage. I'm Grace Rooney. I'm an intern in the Marketing and Public Programming Department, and I'm pleased to welcome you to the inaugural New York Jewish Book Festival. This event is Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up, interactive reading with Chana Stiefel and Larry Stiefel. And while you're here, also we encourage you to check out our exhibits, The Holocaust, What Hate Can Do, and Survivors' Faces After the Holocaust, photographs by Martin Scholler on the 3rd floor. And then our Cafe Lux is also open with the Garden of Stones that's right outside there. And then also feel free to pick up holiday gifts in the Pickman Museum shop, which is right down the hall. And we hope that you'll share feedback with us tomorrow. We'll email a survey to you guys. And this program is made possible in part by support from the Battery Park City Authority and as well as your donations. And it is co-presented by Kalanian Books. And now I'm glad to introduce you to our speakers. Chana Stiefel is an award-winning author of more than 30 humorous and heartfelt books for children, both fiction and nonfiction. Her recent titles include The Tower of Light, How Yaffa Eliach rebuilt her counted stories and photographs, and Let Liberty Rise, How America's Schoolchildren Helped Save the Statue of Liberty. She loves visiting schools and libraries to share her passion for reading and writing with children. And Larry Stiefel is a pediatrician at Tenafly Pediatrics and the author of the short story blog, The Maggid of Bergenfield, from which Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up was created. And they live in New Jersey and have 4 children. Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up, Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up and The Tower of Light, How Yaffa Eliach rebuilt her counted stories are available for purchase in our museum shop, and they will be signing copies for half an hour after the event in the resource area of the events hall on the 2nd floor. Without further ado, please welcome and enjoy the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. It's a nice intimate crowd to be able to ask all your questions. So we're going to make it a little interactive, and we'd like audience participation, so that would be awesome. Okay, so I'm Chana Stiefel, and this is my husband Larry. Our daughter Abby came also. We live in New Jersey, and so I am a children's book author. As she said, I've written about 30 books for kids. And I'm going to share a little bit about my books, and then we'll launch into our story time. Okay. Okay. So my first books are all nonfiction, and mostly about wildlife and or natural disasters. And then I started writing history and biographies. So my most recent book. Actually, we'll talk about Let Liberty Rise first, because we're just a few steps away from the ferry to the Statue of Liberty.
This is the first reading Chana's done recently where she gets to point at the Statue.
No, we did it on the Circle Line.
We did have the Circle
Line. We had a
please.
reading on the Circle Line when this came out. It is a very New York story. Basically, it's the history of how school children helped build the Statue of Liberty. Many people don't know that when the Statue of Liberty came to America, it was a gift from the people of France. And it came in 350 pieces, like a big puzzle. And America was supposed to build the pedestal. So if you build a really big tower of blocks or Lego, you have to have a very strong base. And America, hey, oh my goodness, welcome. Hi. Those are our friends from New Jersey. Okay, so when you build a really big tower, Senator Lily, you need a really strong base. So America was supposed to build a pedestal, but it was going to cost $100,000, and nobody wanted to spend the money on the pedestal of our Statue of Liberty. So she stood in pieces on Liberty Island. And one man, Joseph Pulitzer, who was a Jewish Hungarian immigrant, said that the symbol of freedom has to stand in New York Harbor. And so he said, he owned the New York World newspaper. He said, if anyone gives a penny for the pedestal, I'll print your name in my newspaper. So guess who gave their pennies? Children gave their pennies. We're losing our audience. So children from all over gave their pennies, nickels and dimes and quarters. Like these kids made a club. This little girl wrote, she sent 60 cents. I wish I could make it $60,000, but drops make an ocean. Drops make an ocean, so every little bit helps. And they managed to collect $100,000 to build the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty. And here she is being built. And then 1 million people came to the parade in New York City. And they had a big celebration for the statue. And there she is today, right outside the window. And she was our symbol of freedom and friendship. So that's Liberty. And when you go upstairs, you can actually see the Statue of Liberty from the hall where the books are being signed. And then my other recent nonfiction.
So funny, because that's a story like nobody knows that about the pennies.
No one knows that story. I know, and
It's
kids,
such a great story.
yeah, kids are really drawn to it because they're used to giving pennies in school for charity. So yeah, oh, you got a sandwich. You're lucky. Okay, The Tower of Life: How Yaffa Eliach Rebuilt Her Town with Stories and Photographs. This just came out in October. My first 2 Jewish books are out this year. So one is The Tower of Life, and the second is Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up, which I'll share soon. But this book I'll just share very briefly. It's a woman who was born in a town called Eliach in Poland, named Yaffa Eliach. And when we think of these towns in Poland from the 1930s and so on, we think of the photographs as very dark, but this is filled with life and color. And grandparents would tell tales of their ancestors buried beneath their feet, and chose regular life, playing in the snow, running in the forest. And Yaffa's grandmothers were very entrepreneurial. One sold candles, and the other one was a photographer. She was the town photographer, and she would take pictures of all the celebrations in town. And people would send postcards to their relatives overseas. And this picture was taken of Yaffa feeding the chickens. But it seemed the good times would never end, but then darkness came to Eliach. And the Germans came in 1941, and they rounded up all of the Jews, but Yaffa and her family escaped, and she managed to tuck photos inside her shoes, and she fled. The whole town was destroyed, 900 years of history uprooted. But her parents showed her how a little bit of light can chase away the darkness. And this story has really resonated. Yaffa grew up, she became a historian and an expert on the Holocaust. And President Jimmy Carter in 1979 asked her to help build a memorial to the Holocaust. And she thought of her town, and she didn't want to focus on death and darkness, she wanted to focus on the lives that were lived, not lost. And she remembered the photographs that she had tucked in her shoes, and she wondered who else had photographs. So she traveled the world, she decided to go and see, and she ended up traveling the world, finding those postcards and photographs. And she went to, for 17 years, she went to nearly all 50 United States, and she reconnected with people who had left before the war, and collected over 6,000 photographs and stories of the people of Eliach. And she created the exhibit in the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, going 3 stories, it's soaring, 3 stories high. And people connect with these photographs because they see that these were people. And she restored humanity to the victims of the Holocaust. So this book is in memory of her. And one of the reasons I'm sharing it today here is because Yaffa's archives are in this museum, in the Museum of Jewish Heritage. And she has a strong family connection here. She used to lecture here, and she used to interview survivors. She was the first to speak to survivors and record them. Okay, so now that's Jewish history to Jewish joy. So I've also written other books.
I think you're giving the whole position. I'm kind of standing in the background.
Now we're going to get to the fun, because we have a special holiday coming up in 1 week. And so Larry, my husband, and I wrote a book together, and it's called Mendel's Hanukkah Mess-Up. We're super excited. So Larry is a pediatrician, and I'm a children's book writer, and Larry wrote many stories also for children, and we decided to turn one of them into a picture book, and we're very grateful today that our editor, Lillian Rosenstreich from Colonial, is right here. And they're upstairs also doing activities for kids and crafts, and they're remarkable, and we're so lucky that we have Lily publish our book, our debut. So we're going to do an interactive reading today. We're going to do an interactive reading today, and so I'm going to need some audience participation. When I hold up this sign, it says, "Oi, Mendel." I need you guys in the audience to do this. Oi, Mendel. Can you guys try that? Can you do that? Oi, Mendel.
Oi, Mendel.
Okay. All right, let's do it a little louder. Oi, Mendel. Okay. Someone's here. Okay. Yeah, and welcome. How are you? Come.
You gotta rub the children who just went up.
Oh, I think it's here. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we were just saying we're doing interactive reading. I'm Chana Stiefel. My husband is Larry. He's Mendel for today. And we're going to do an interactive reading. When I hold up Oi Mendel, I need you guys to do this.
Oi, Mendel!
Okay, great. We have some more visitors.
No, they've been.
Okay, and I want to know if any of you guys have ever messed up. Has anyone ever made a mistake?
Never.
Come on. I'm calling
I'm
you
a
out.
guy.
We all make mistakes. We've all made mistakes, and that's okay. That's what you'll see. I can tell you that we've both made mistakes. What?
Is there any particular mistake you want to mention?
No, I think we're good.
See, I told you so.
Also, Mendel has a favorite holiday. Can anyone guess what holiday is Mendel's favorite?
Pullman.
Try again. The Nudnik. Who is that? What's Mendel's favorite holiday? What's coming? Hanukkah. Excellent. Okay, I think we are ready to begin.
Okay.
Here we go. So remember, Oi Mendel. Okay, that's your job. Of all the Jewish holidays, Hanukkah was Mendel's favorite. The yummy food, the glowing candles, the magical miracles, the glorious gifts. But when the 8-day festival began, Mendel always messed up. Once, Mendel was frying latkes. Instead of grating 5 plain potatoes and 1 onion, Mendel flipped it around. Oi, Mendel! Okay, then there was the night Mendel blew it by placing sparklers instead of candles in the menorah. Sizzle, twizzle, pop. Oops, Bubby did not take a shine to that.
Oi, Mendel!
Okay, now I need the rabbi. And then there was the time. Here, Mendel, you can put the dough. Then there was the time. No one could forget the time Mendel goofed and left a tray of jelly donuts on Rabbi Klein's chair.
Oi, Mendel!
One more time. Oi, Mendel! From that Hanukkah on, Mendel tried to hide behind the scenes. I'll tell you when we do it.
Okay.
So hold on to your beard.
Okay.
Okay. I should mention we are not professional actors. Not Broadway. If we mess up, that's the whole point. Okay. So no one was more flabbergasted than Mendel when Rabbi Klein offered him the best job of all. My driver is. I messed up. Oh, Rabbi. You didn't read.
My driver can't drive. My driver isn't feeling well.
The rabbi told Mendel.
I want you to drive the Mitzvah Mobile around town. You'll invite everyone to our big Hanukkah bash and perform the greatest good deed of the holiday, sharing the miracles of Hanukkah for all to see.
Mendel's face lit up like the giant electric menorah on the Mitzvah Mobile's roof.
Me? Drive the Mitzvah Mobile?
Mendel's words stuck like melted wax.
Are you sure, Rabbi?
Sure, I'm sure, Mendel. I have faith in you, said Rabbi Klein.
What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Thank you, Rabbi. Okay. Mendel, we'll invite you back. Okay, Mendel revved the Mitzvah Mobile's engine and waved as he turned onto Main Street. Everyone smiled and danced as the song, Oh Hanukkah, blared from the Mitzvah Mobile's speakers. Do you guys know the song, Oh Hanukkah?
Wow.
I know it in Yiddish.
That's the first time we ever go into the audience.
Happy Hanukkah!
Happy Hanukkah, Mendel.
Mendel's spirit soared as he played dreidel.
where is
In
it?
front of Nashi's deli. At each stop, he invited the crowd to the rabbi's big bash. Finally, Mendel turned back. It was almost candlelighting time, but it was so filled with joy, he didn't notice the big bridge. So I need 2 volunteers. I need, how about Dick and Robin? Okay. He didn't notice the big bridge. Suddenly, what's gonna
So we need to
happen?
make a bridge, ready?
Make a bridge. Okay, suddenly. Oh.
Crunch!
Crunch. Oh, Mendel. Oh, yeah, we stopped.
Not yet.
Yeah. Oh, the giant window hit the overpass. The roof of the Mitzvah Mobile crumpled like used gift wrap. The wheels spun like a dreidel.
I'm stuck!
Oh, Mendel! Whoop, whoop. The police arrived first. Honk, honk. Traffic started to build. Vroom, vroom. A tow truck pulled up next. Does anyone want to be the reporter? One of you want to be the reporter? Come. You're Rachel. Okay, come interview
Beep,
Mendel.
beep.
Beep, beep. The Channel 8 news team arrived. Mendel was mortified, so you're going to interview Mendel. What's the story?
What's the story here?
Asked Rachel, the reporter.
Well,
Mendel's words mushed like applesauce.
I blew it again.
He sighed. Then Mendel thought of the lessons Rabbi Klein taught him. He stood up taller like the shamash, the special Hanukkah candle that lights all the others. As Mendel faced the camera, his words began to flow like silky sour cream.
Hanukkah shows us the power of every person to make a difference, to rise up like the Jewish soldier Judah Maccabee fighting the mighty Greeks.
He told Rachel.
If a tiny flask of oil can light up a menorah for 8 days, we each have a spark to light up the world.
For a flickering moment, Rachel was speechless.
Wow, that's good.
Suddenly,
Wow. Professional training.
Suddenly, screech! The tow truck pulled the dented van away. To everyone's surprise, the menorah's candles were still glowing.
A Hanukkah miracle on Essex Street.
Rachel reported. Hold on, my lights aren't working. Okay, that's fine. That's up. At last, Mendel arrived at the big Hanukkah bash. He felt as soggy as a leftover latke. The Mitzvah Mobile was the worst mess up of all.
Oi, Rabbi!
Mendel sighed. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry!
Sorry, you should be proud, exclaimed Rabbi Klein. We saw you on the news. You told the whole world the story of Hanukkah, and that's what this holiday is all about, sharing the miracles.
The crowd cheered for Mendel, the mighty
Wow.
That night, Mendel received the ultimate gift. He lit the giant menorah in front of City Hall. This time, there were no sparklers. The only thing glowing brighter than all of the Hanukkah candles in town was Mendel's smile. So I wanted to share a few more things. Thank you, Mendel. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you. We have a few more things to share. Go ahead. Okay, so first of all, we have at the back of the book, there's a brief history of Hanukkah. We have the rules for playing dreidel, a glossary for anyone who might not know the Yiddish and Hebrew that's in the book. Go ahead, A.T. We have the words to O Hanukkah. We've done this at schools, and the kids are amazing, and they know all the words, and they were singing along. There's a real recipe for potato latkes, so remember it's 5 potatoes and 1 onion, and not the other way around. That's the illustrator, go back, that's the illustrator Daphna Awadi. She is Israeli, and she lives in Amsterdam, and we got to meet her on Zoom recently. She's remarkable. She did the entire book in markers. Yeah, really amazing. And so I wanted to also share with you my next sneak peek at my next book called Bravo Avocado. which is coming out from HarperCollins March
I'm
28th.
not dressing as an avocado.
But I will be. That's coming out in the spring, and it is about an avocado at the farmer's market who wants to be today's special. And we have a little, so that's Liberty, go ahead, and the Liberty book. Go ahead, Abs. Okay, go back. So Larry got me that beautiful Hanukkah, the Liberty one. So I like that for Hanukkah. And that other one is, if you go to the Statue of Liberty Museum at Liberty Island, there's actually a Hanukkah there where all the branches are the Statue of Liberty.
Wow.
Okay, and next, so we have a little game. Oh, it didn't load. Okay, so we have some activities upstairs. Lily has a whole booth with origami dreidels and activity guides that are free, and books to sign, and Hanukkah gelt and other wonderful surprises. There's wonderful all kinds of books upstairs. Anyone have any questions? You guys are authors. Do you have questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're obviously very talented. I'm still trying to level up, and 12 by 12 has been something that I've been a part of for years and getting feedback from other authors, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying to figure out how to
Take the leap.
get, I don't know, just get my craft to the point where it's yes, I'm there. I feel like I'm close, but there's this little gap. I don't know how to.
I feel you. So what's the question? How do you get there? Okay, so I don't have a short answer for you.
Maybe how did you know that you got there?
Oh, so I'm still on that journey. I started out, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, because everyone has their own journey. I started out in journalism school many years ago at NYU. Down the block was a publishing company called Scholastic, and I had an internship there. And so I started working on children's magazines first, and then after I left that, when I started having kids, I started writing books. And most of them, my first 15 books were with educational publishers where they were assigned to me. I think that's where I got my writing legs, writing books for kids. And then what happened was Abby's sister Maya, our daughter, who was 7 at the time, got mad at her dad. And
We married? Oh, we didn't know that.
and no, it was a wonderful thing because we laughed about it and we said, oh, we should return him to the daddy store. And that's how my story, Daddy Depot, came about. I started learning the process, and I wrote a terrible first draft. It was in rhyme, it was too many words, it had too many characters, it didn't have an arc. You get it. And it took 8 years to get that book from idea to publication, and Maya is now a junior in college. Okay, so you get the picture. It's a journey. I know you're doing craft webinars, right? Sending your work out. You're looking for an agent. Yeah, so really agenting is finding an agent to help you get published is the way to go, I believe, because it's, unless you want to just get one book out there. If you want to have a career, I think you really do need an agent. And I would say just keep writing, keep reading, keep coming to author events, writing. I don't know if you've ever tried going to highlights or,
She has.
You have? Yeah. It's magical, right? Yeah. Things happen. And then, also just write from your heart. Because I feel like those stories, like the story, like Tower of Life has really, I feel like, taken off because that was written with a lot of tears and really from my heart. Not that you have to write a sad book, but something that you're passionate about, something sincere about you. And I think Mendel, just the heart in that book also, because of the humor in that book that I think Lily can speak to, that's what made her a quiet, right?
I mean, I love Mendel. What's not to love, right?
Chana loves avocados.
Yeah, write what you love, exactly. Yeah, but it's not a short answer, but I would say if that's what you're passionate about, don't give up. Yeah.
So I'm not quite 8 years in. So
it doesn't have to be that long, but it does take. Even once you have people don't know this, but even once you have a contract with a publishing company, it could take 4 years. This was probably 2 years.
Yeah,
it was pretty short.
Yeah.
But 2 years is short from even getting acquired to getting published. So. Yeah, I highly recommend Calamio.
Please send it. There are many publishers that only accept with an agent, but we are not one of them. So you don't need to be agented.
It's a Jewish book. She's a Jewish publisher.
She has a beautiful Jewish book that she wrote. We'll stop by later.
You could totally pitch her.
I have some ideas rattling around. They're cooking right now, like
Okay.
latkes, they're cooking.
Right, yeah, okay, excellent.
Only children, only picture books.
Children's, yeah, picture books, Jewish.
themes,
Yeah, right, yes. Anyone else have a question? Marot? No?
So are you,
Do you have a question? You're good? Okay, did you like the story? No, yeah, maybe? Not sure what you just saw. Oh, Mendel.
Right there.
Yeah, well, we so appreciate everyone coming. There are a lot of other events today, and there are book sales going on and signings, and Locke's Cafe. I came all this way. We got a bite to eat.
signing Mendel?
We are signing Mendel,
Well, both of
and
you,
we're
right?
signing, yeah, and we also have the Tower of Life here. And in the signing room, you can actually see the Statue of Liberty from there, which is unbelievable to have that view, because there's so much history there. So, yeah, okay, well, thank you.
Thank
We'll be at the Teaneck Library at 2:30. Thank you guys so much.
Can we
Yes.
keep our stuff here if there's another mental one?
We can put it on the side, I
Okay.
think, yeah. And we'll put this
That's
outside.
Just a comment, I really enjoyed the big, like, poster reveal kind of in both books.
Oh, thank you for
Oh.
noticing that,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, in both Liberty and the Tower of Life, we
Yes.
turn it over. So I have a deal going with my agent that if Tower of Life won some awards, so if it wins the big one, she said she'll do a fold out. That's what I wanted for both of them. I wanted like a total, yeah, that's what I want.
When kids get a book like that, or even, it's just kind of that wow factor.
Yeah.
Of like,
you know?
yeah, that was what I was going for. But thank you for
Awesome.
pointing that
Yeah.
out. Thank you so much, yeah.
Can I have
Okay,
one
yeah.
question actually,
Yeah,
for the Tower of Life?
yeah.
Did you end up speaking with her family or?
Yeah, so I actually found out about this book because I read her obituary in the New York Times. I was talking about heart, like I knew I had to write this book because I cut out the obituary, it's not something I do. And it stuck with me, and it stayed with me for a long time, and I knew I had to write it as a picture book, even though it's a Holocaust story, and I didn't know how to do it, but I knew I was going to do it. So, hey. So, I wanted to get permission from her family. There are certain things that just fell into place for this book. I wasn't sure how. I was working at a high school where we live in Teaneck, from my note, and I saw on the speaking schedule that her daughter, Smadar Rosenzweig, was coming to speak. And I was like, okay, I better go ask her. And I did, and I met her in her office. She teaches at Stern College, and we spoke about it, and she said yes. And so she was very helpful in terms of research and fact checking, and she was extremely supportive with giving us rights to photographs and stuff like that. So if you're going to write nonfiction or a biography or something, whatever person, or if they're famous or not, like try to get a buy-in or permission from the family, from the
I have a nonfiction picture book.
Yeah,
that's
foundations or
actually
something. Yeah.
photographs.
Oh,
So,
do you really?
yeah,
Okay, so
so
talk to
I-
me afterward,
yeah,
yeah. There's a lot that goes into that, and it has to be accurate, right? Especially like these days, and with Holocaust, that it has to be like spot on. So it really helped to have Smadar on board with that.
And I have
So,
another just quick follow-up that might sound weird, but
Yeah.
my husband's in PR and we've been getting amazing PR from Mendel. Lily, is that you?
Oh, yeah, that's us.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
got in the
so-
Wall Street Journal. My husband was like,
Yeah.
that's an amazing hit. Wow.
We did, Mendel did.
Yes, but that must have been a great feeling.
Yes.
Lily's been remarkable. I would say small publishers are something really special. I've published with big publishers and small publishers. Lily has this very boutique little publisher, and she's totally invested, and she's posting every day, and we're getting remarkable reviews, and it's really been remarkable. I need to share that there is a legend in the room with us right now. In addition to Mendel, this is Panina Schramm. She was my professor in college. She is, that's not her legendary status. She is a legendary Jewish storyteller. And thank you for coming.
And one of my best students.
I don't even know if you remember me from school. We've had thousands of students.
First row.
Oh, yeah. But I have to tell you, so there are a lot of things that have come into play in the last year or two. And a few weeks ago, this is my friend Robin, we have weekly mosaics in my house. And I was on a Zoom listening to Panina Schramm talk about names. And it was for the Association of Jewish Libraries. And I was enjoying it, and we were doing our thing, and I had to step away from the Zoom, but I posted a comment. Hi, Professor Schramm, you were my teacher at Stern College. I wrote a book about names. I wrote a book called My Name is Waka Waka Lach because my name is hard to pronounce. And, but then I had to hop off the Zoom. Well, later that week, I got an email from Lily that the AJL had contacted her because Professor Schramm wanted to contact me. This is my editor, Lily Schramm. Okay. And I was blown away. And of course, I contacted you right away, and we've had this lovely exchange. And it's really an honor that you came. And I know you're signing books today also, so everyone stop by and meet Professor Schramm. She's really remarkable. I read her, she sent me her biography. I just finished reading it. It's beyond beautiful. And yeah, and there was a line in there that I just wanted to share, because you're talking, these are two emerging authors. Sometimes an author finds a story, and sometimes the story finds you. And that's from her book. And so this was an example of a story finding me, because I felt such a connection to it. So thank you.
You have given me a gift.
We have lunch plans for tomorrow. And it's really an honor, so thank you. Okay. You can have a private reading.
I want to say that something amazing about this book, that it's helping us as educators to introduce the topic of Holocaust in a more powerful way. Usually, we take a step back and we don't really want to introduce it to kids because we're not sure how appropriate the topic is. And I just read the book and I felt like my head was already, I can read it to 3rd grade, to 4th grade. It's just beautiful.
So these are friends who are both principals at Jewish day schools. So I did not pay her to.
Yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
She'll have to pay me. But anyway, thank you. Well, I wanted to focus on light and life, and that we are still here. And that's, I think, the message that Yaffa wanted to get across, and that we are people. And to humanize the Holocaust, she wanted people to see themselves in these photographs. And if you've ever been to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, I think one of the first things that affected us when we were there is that most of the people are not Jewish that go there. They couldn't keep that museum open if there were only Jewish people going. 90% of the people who go, and there are millions of visitors every year, other than COVID, are not Jewish. And yet people see themselves in these photographs because they were just people leading their lives. They were people playing and telling stories and playing in the snow and playing in the forest. They were families, and I think people find it extremely relatable, and that was the message that she wanted to convey.
Well, it looks like that's your thing. Like, we're all just people, it's all relatable. Mendel messes up, teaching kids like you can mess up,
Absolutely,
Like Hamza, everybody's pointing at you.
Yeah, like I'm Mendel.
Womp womp. We had, Mrs. Schramm, we had sound effects. And interaction, we had everyone doing, "Oi, Mendel." Very good, that was good, everybody. Yeah.
But once you graduated out of my, at least my course,
Yeah.
you call me Panina.
Oh,
You're
yes.
more
Patina with 2 N's at the end.
Yes. And you know
I got that.
why?
Yes, I do, but you can share. I don't.
Well, the second nun in Hebrew has a dot. And that indicates that at one time it had been a double nun, so a double N. And therefore, there are many, many spellings, but I have it on my birth certificate. My father had looked in the Tanakh and the book of Samuel, and so it is Peninah.
Yes.
Talk about strange names.
And in Hebrew, you write it with the nekuda in the nun?
I don't, but it is that way in the Chumash. Yeah. Even in the Gideon Bible too.
Interesting.
But in English, it's correct.
Uh-huh.
In same, King James or whatever it is.
Yeah, Bibles, yeah. Nice, nice. Anything else anyone want to share? Okay, well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
By the way, it is a children's book, so children can see it too.
Yeah. Okay, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Larry.
Thanks for coming.